Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme Incarnate. Let us pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen Hanuman, the great ideal. Sri Ramakrishna has referred to Hanuman as the great Jnani as well as a great Bhakta. There are many references about Hanuman in the Gospel. Sri Ramakrishna says, whatever we see or think about is the manifestation of the glory of the primal energy, the primal consciousness, creation, preservation and destruction, living beings and the universe, and further meditation and the meditator, bhakti and prema. All these are manifestations of the glory of the power. But Brahman is identical with its power. On returning from Ceylon, Hanuman praised Rama, saying, O Ram, you are the supreme Brahman, and Sita is your Shakti. You and she are identical. Brahman and Shakti are like the snake and its wriggling motion. Thinking of the snake, one must think of its wriggling motion. And thinking of its wriggling motion, one must think of the snake. Or they are like milk and its whiteness. Thinking of milk, one has to think of its color, that is whiteness. And thinking of the whiteness of milk, one has to think of milk itself. Or they are like water and its wetness. Thinking of water, one has to think of its wetness. And thinking of the wetness of water, one has to think of water. This primal power, Mahamaya, has covered Brahman. As soon as the covering is withdrawn, one realizes, I am what I was before. I am thou, thou art I. As long as that covering remains, the Vedantic formula, I am he, that is, man is the supreme Brahman, doesn't rightly apply. The wave is part of the water, but the water is not part of the wave. As long as that covering remains, one should call on God as mother. Addressing God, the devotees should say, Thou art the mother, and I am thy child. Thou art the master, and I am thy servant. It is good to have the attitude of the servant toward the master. From this relationship of master and servant spring up other attitudes, the attitude of serene love for God, the attitude of friend toward friend, and so forth. When the master loves his servant, he may say to him, Come, sit by my side. There is no difference between you and mine. But if the servant comes forward of his own will to sit by the master, will not the master be angry? God's play on earth as an incarnation is the manifestation of the glory of the Chit Shakti, the divine power. That which is Brahman is also Rama, Krishna and Shiva. Again, Sri Ramakrishna says in another place, there is a thing called Nishtha, single-minded devotion. When the gopis went to Mathura, they saw Krishna with a turban on his head. At this they pulled down their veils and said, Who is this man? Where is our Krishna with the peacock feather on his crest and the yellow cloth on his body? And then Sri Ramakrishna says, Hanuman also had that unswerving devotion. When Hanuman came to Dwarka in the cycle of Dwapar Yuga, Sri Krishna said to Rukmini, his queen, Look, Hanuman will be satisfied unless he sees the form of Rama. He will not be satisfied. Hanuman will not be satisfied unless he sees the form of Rama. So, to please Hanuman, Sri Krishna assumed the form of Sri Rama. In another place, Sri Ramakrishna again tells, You must have heard about the tremendous power of faith. It is said in the scripture that Sri Ram, who was God himself, the embodiment of absolute Brahman, had to build a bridge to cross the sea to Lanka. But Hanuman, trusting in Rama's name, cleared the sea in one jump and reached the other side. He had no need of the bridge. Sages like Prahlad, Narad, and Hanuman retained bhakti after attaining samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna says, referring to Hanuman, he kept the servant ego after realizing God in both his personal and his impersonal aspects. He thought of himself as a servant of God. What's the meaning of Jnana Yoga? It is a path by which a person can realize the true nature of his own self. It is the awareness that Brahman alone is his true nature. Prahlad sometimes was aware of his identity with Brahman, and sometimes he would see that God was one and he another. At such times he would remain in the mood of bhakti. Hanuman said, O Ram, sometimes I find that you are the whole and I a part. Sometimes that you are the master and I your servant. But O Ram, when I have the knowledge of reality, I see that you are I and I am you. Hanuman, after having the vision of God both with form and without, remained firmly devoted to the form of Rama, the embodiment of consciousness and bliss. In this attitude, he feels that God is a bliss and he himself is the enjoyer. All these statements are made by Sri Ramakrishna regarding Hanuman, the great ideal. Swami Vivekananda extolled the character of Hanuman as a great ideal. As on the one hand, Hanuman represents the ideal of service, so on the other, he represents leonine courage, striking the whole world with awe. Build your life on this great ideal of personal service, and all the other ideals will gradually manifest in life. Swami Vivekananda always would say, you must have the ideal of Hanuman. Full of self-confidence, full of energy, full of wisdom, full of devotion. All in the full glory we can find in the character of Hanuman. Saint Valmiki's Ramayana, or the story of Sri Ramchandra, is perhaps equalled in its exquisite poetry and literary charm only by two other Ramayanas, namely Sri Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas and Kamba Ramayana in Tamil. These Ramayans are very famous. On their own merit, they hold a high place among the classics of world literature. The legend goes that in the case of Saint Tulsi, Sri Ramchandra, out of his infinite compassion, reenacted the whole Ramayana before him. Tulsidas says that the servant of the Lord is greater than the Lord himself. This statement applies quite aptly to Sri Hanuman, who is the very epitome of Ramahood. Sri Ramchandra is hailed as Dharma incarnate. In Hanuman, we can see Dharma in action. He is a paragon of every virtue, especially he represents in flesh and blood the twin great ideals, the ideals of the Ramakrishna mission, renunciation and service. And he perhaps is the only character in the marvelous portrait gallery of Valmiki who has received tremendous adoration and affection from the masses. Hanuman is indeed the bridge between the seeker and Sri Rama. Sugriva, who represents the Jiva, reached Sri Rama only through Sri Hanuman. So too was the case with Sri Vibhishan. Saint Tulsi himself, it is said, had the vision of Sri Ramchandra at Chitrakut by the grace of Sri Hanuman. In the Uttarakhand, we have an incident illustrating Sri Hanuman's unique spirit of service. Sri Ramchandra and his brothers once got tired and rested under the shade of a mango tree. Sri Ramchandra, who is the reliever of all fatigue, was himself very tired. Hanuman stood there fanning all the four brothers with tears of joy rolling down his cheeks. Someone ventured to ask him, the Lord himself was tired. You could have messaged him, but why did you choose to fan him? With a smile, Hanuman replied, I knew Sri Rama was tired, but the other brothers were also exhausted. If I had given a message to Sri Ramchandra, the others would have been left unattended. Hence, I took to fanning all the four brothers. Shiva tells this story to Uma and says that there is no one more devoted to Sri Rama than Hanuman, whose service and sacrifice were the theme of praise from the Lord himself. Sri Hanuman's devotion is beyond comparison with that of the other characters of the Ramayana, even with that of such exalted ones like Bharat and Lakshman. Rama is after all an elder brother to Bharat and Lakshmana. So it is their bounden duty to serve the elder brother who is equal to the father himself. That was the tradition in those days. But Sri Hanuman, far removed from Rama by caste, country and lineage, has no obligation to serve the Lord in the way he so magnificently does. When Hanuman first meets Sri Rama, he bows down. The Lord clasps him to his bosom and says, you are twice as dear to me as Lakshman. Why does the Lord say so? Like a shadow, Lakshman has been spending all his time in the service of the Lord. But here comes Hanuman, whom the Lord met only a few moments back. The explanation of this paradox is provided by the whole life of Sri Hanuman. By nature, Hanuman keeps himself in the background. He does all the work, but looks himself so humble. What a far cry from our hypocritical world, where people do seva all in words and precious little in action. But with Sri Hanuman, the act is not visible, the actor too is not visible, but the splendid result is there for all to enjoy. That is the greatness of Hanuman. It is significant that when Shabri advises Sri Ramchandra to befriend Sugriva, there is no mention of Hanuman. We have to infer that Shabri doesn't know about Hanuman, who never projects himself into the limelight. Name and fame are shunned by Hanuman, who symbolizes Nishkam Karma, serving others without projecting oneself or having any acts of one's own to grind. Sri Ramchandra and Lakshman approached Rishyamukh mountain, where Sugriva was hiding. Seeing them at a distance, Sugriva became suspicious. He sent Hanuman in the guise of a Brahmin to find out who the strangers were. If they were Wali's men, Hanuman was to indicate to him by means of signs, and he would take to his heels. In the guise of a Brahmin, Hanuman approaches Rama and bows down humbly. Rama, seeing him, only smiles. Covertly, he is telling Hanuman, "Look, you are a Brahmin, but you are offering obeisance to me who is a Kshatriya. How is it? How can Hanuman possibly pose as a Brahmin, where he looks every inch a hero?" The Lord, who is ever playful with his devotees, asks Hanuman, "What do you think of me?" Sri Ramakrishna asks like that to his disciples. "What do you think of me?" He has asked Master Maharshi. Hanuman replies without hesitation, "If I am a disguised Brahmin, you are a disguised Kshatriya. When my head bows down before you, I know that you are the Lord himself." But Rama doesn't give in so easily. He dodges once again, remarking, "Oh Brahmin, you call me a god, but do I possess any of the attributes of God? God is ajanma, birthless, sarvatantra, swatantra, free of all limitations, sarvashaktiman, all powerful, and sarvajna, all knowing. We possess no these qualities, none of these qualities. First, we have taken a janma, having been born as sons of Dasharatha. Secondly, we are not swatantra, having free will, because we have come all the way to the forest to respect our father's command. Thirdly, we are not at all sarvashaktiman, because if we are that powerful, why should we roam all over the place in search of Sita? Fourthly, we are not sarvajnas, all-knowing, because we do not know the whereabouts of Sita. Sri Ramchandra then requests Hanuman to tell his story. Hanuman then plays the trump card. "O Lord, is it proper for you to question my identity? I am but an ordinary mortal, suffering under the spell of your Maya. I am dull-witted, deluded, ignorant. To crown it all, my Lord, you have forgotten me. I have indeed many faults, but do not cast me into oblivion. I can get out of your Maya only through your grace. I do not have devotion, nor do I know the way of pleasing you. The master takes care of his servant, just as the mother looks after her child. The child does not know anything, nor do I." Sri Ramchandra is supremely pleased with the true devotion of his beloved devotee. He says, "Listen, O Hanuman. Be not depressed at heart. I look upon all with the same eye, but a devotee is particularly dear to me because it depends on none but me. So you are twice as dear to me as Lakshman. Hanuman is overwhelmed with joy and clasps the feet of Sri Ramchandra. He suggests that they should go up the mountain to where Sugriva is staying to make friendship with him. He says to the Lord, "Now let us go up. On the summit of the hill dwells Sugriva, the chief of the Vanaras. He is a servant of yours. Make friends with him." Does not this suggestion look odd? He is asking Sri Rama to go and meet Sugriva. Is Sugriva so great that he cannot descend the hill to meet the Lord? Why then does Hanuman propose to Sri Rama that he should go up? Someone later puts this question to Hanuman. Hanuman laughs and replies, "Well, look at it this way. Suppose there is a patient. Ordinarily, the patient must go to the doctor if he has enough strength to walk. But if he is too weak, is it not the doctor who is to be taken to the patient?" Sugriva is in the same predicament. He is a patient in a very critical condition, because he is terribly afflicted with the fear of Vali. He dare not come down from the hill. So the Lord, who is the spiritual doctor, goes up to see the patient. God comes to the jiva out of compassion. Thus Hanuman, the embodiment of faith, helps to bring the jiva and Ishvara together. Faith brings the Lord to the bhakta. After the preliminary introductions are over, Hanuman lights a sacred fire to witness the bond of alliance between Rama and Sugriva. Lakshman says, "Just as the fire and wood coming together burn and produce light, may the friendship between Sugriva and the Lord generate light." But Sri Rama gives a subtler spiritual dimension to this act. He extols his servant Hanuman. He says, "In the absence of Vayu, air, it is not possible for the fire and wood to burn. We don't see the Vayu, but without it the wood cannot burn." Hanuman is the worthy son of Vayu, who helps remaining invisible. The Lord himself categorically states, "Without the medium of Hanuman, who is a saint, the communion of Jiva with Ishvara cannot take place." That explains the great importance given in our Indian tradition to the institution of Guru and the practice of Satsang, the company of saints. We see the humility of Hanuman once more when he meets Vibhishana in Lanka. When Hanuman is exploring Sri Lanka in search of Sita, he is overjoyed to see in one mansion paintings of the weapons of Sri Rama. He is delighted to see also clusters of young tulsi plants in Vibhishana's mansion. Lanka is the abode of a gang of demons. How could a pious man take his residence here? Hanuman was wondering. While he was thus reasoning within himself, Vibhishana wakes up. He begins to repeat Sri Rama's name in prayer. Hanuman is happy beyond words. He assumes the form of a Brahmana and meets Vibhishana. Vibhishana in wonder asks who he is. Hanuman replies, "Listen, sir, what is there in my name?" Better hear the story of Sri Rama. If one takes my name early in the morning, he is sure to go without food that day. But if one sings the name of Sri Rama, he attains mukti, liberation. Can humility and loyalty go further? Next we see Hanuman at Ravan's court, where he gives sane counsel to Ravan to save his life. Ravan laughs aloud, and mocking at Hanuman, Ravan says, "Who are you? By whose might have you wrought the destruction of the grove? I see you are an uncommonly bold scoundrel." Ravan scolds him. "For what offense did you put the demons to death?" Hanuman again does not disclose his identity. He prefers to sing the glory of his master and declares that he is a messenger of such a great personage. He takes compassion on Ravan and says, "Ravan, I implore you with folded hands, abandon your pride and listen to my advice. Have some consideration for your own family. Cease to go astray. Adore him who relieves his worshippers from all anxiety. Rama is an ocean of compassion. Take refuge at his feet, and he will forget your offense and give you shelter. I tell you on my oath, if Rama is against you, there is none to save you. Even Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma cannot protect you if you are Rama's enemy." It is history that Ravan did not pay heed to the words of Hanuman and perished at the hands of Rama. Thus we see Sri Hanuman. He is that rare combination, a hero of mighty deeds, who is humility personified. He renders the loftiest service, physical, mental, and spiritual, to a variety of persons, but without the least tinge of pride. He is a leader who considers himself the first servant. He is a leader who considers himself the first servant. He brings together Sugriva and Rama, Vibhishana and Rama, then Sita and Rama, finally Bharata and Rama. So you must know what a tremendous character Hanuman. He is a great unifier, the great ideal. That's why we see Swami Vivekananda telling in his complete works that we should have Hanuman as our ideal, whose whole life was dedicated to renunciation and service. Totally selfless, completely loyal, Ekanishtha, Dhridanistha, Avyabhacharani Bhakti, unparalleled service. All these things we should cherish in our life. Then we become really worthy of our human life. Then we become really qualified to have the vision of God, and then only we can expect to be released from bondage. So let us try to follow the great character Hanuman and prove ourselves worthy devotees of God. So Hanuman was not only Jnani but also a great devotee. So also we should be devoted to God to the maximum. At the same time, we must acquire wisdom. Jnana and bhakti should go together. They are not antagonistic, they are complementary. One complements the other. Jnana bhakti. Swami Vivekananda says Jnana bhakti karma, dhyana, all this must be blended in right proportions in one's personality. Then only he is said to be fully grown, not lopsided growth. Not simply jnani, not simply devotee, not simply doing karma. Combination of all these in right proportion. That's the full-blown personality. That's what Swami Vivekananda wanted every one of us to be. So as the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, As the students of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, as spiritual aspirants, we must develop all these faculties in our life and make our life blessed. Narada said to Rama, page 820, Gospel. Narada said to Rama, O Ram, I want from thee no other favor. Please give me real love for thee, and please bless me, that I may not come under the spell of thy world-bewitching Maya. When a man sincerely prays to God, he is able to fix his mind on God and develop real love for his lotus feet. Give up all such notions as, shall we be cured of our delirium? What will happen to us? We are sinners. To Nanda, Sri Ramakrishna said, one must have this kind of faith. What? Once I have uttered the name of Rama, can I be a sinner anymore? Nanda said, is there no afterlife? What about punishment for our sins? Master said, why not enjoy your mangoes? What need have you to calculate about the afterlife and what happens then and things like that? Eat your mangoes. You need devotion to God. Nanda said, but where is the mango tree? Where do I get mangoes? Master, tree? God is the eternal and infinite Brahman. It does exist. There is no doubt about it. He is eternal. But you must remember this, that he is the Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. Come, let us go for a walk, O mind, to Kali, the wish-fulfilling tree, and there beneath it gather the four fruits of life. You must go to the Kalpataru and pray. Only then will you obtain the fruits. Only then will the fruits fall from the tree. Only then will you be able to gather them. There are four fruits: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. The Jnanis seek the fruit of liberation, and the Bhaktas love of God, love without any motive behind it. They seek neither Dharma nor Artha nor Kama. You ask about the afterlife. According to the Gita, you will become in the next life what you think of in the hour of death. King Bharata was very much grieved over his pet deer. It died repeating the word deer, therefore he was reborn as deer. That's why day and night a man should practice worship, japa, meditation and other spiritual exercises. Only then, by virtue of practice, will you be able to think of God in the hour of death. If one dies thus, thinking of God, one will acquire God's nature. Keshav Sain too asked me about the afterlife. I said to him also, what need have you of all these calculations? Then I said, as long as a man does not realize God, he will return to the world. The potter puts his clay jars and lets out in the sun to bake. If cattle trample them underfoot, he throws away the baked ones, but he collects the soft ones, mixes them with more clay, puts them on the wheel, and makes new vessels from them. The master of the house had not yet shown any sign of serving Sri Ramakrishna with refreshments. Sri Ramakrishna himself said to Nanda, you see, you should offer me something to eat. That's why the other day I said to Jadu's mother, look here, give me something to eat, otherwise it brings harm to the householder. Nanda Bose ordered some sweets. Sri Ramakrishna began to eat them. Nanda and the others were watching the master and his actions. After eating the sweets, Sri Ramakrishna wanted to wash his hands. The plate on which the sweets were served had been placed on the sheet covering the carpet, so the master could not wash his hands in the plate. A servant brought a brass bowl for him to use, but Sri Ramakrishna would not use it, since only Rajasic people used such things. He asked the servant to take it away. The master of the house said to him, "Please wash your hands." Absent-mindedly, Sri Ramakrishna said, "What? Shall I wash my hands?" The master walked to the south veranda. He asked Yam to pour water into his hands. Yam poured water from a jug. The master dried his hands with his cloth and returned to the room. Then he was offered betel leaf on a tray. But the other guests had already taken some from the same tray. The master did not accept any. We'll stop here. So let us be like Hanuman. Then you will not be wanting anything. You get everything whatever you want. If you have the attitude of Hanuman, you get Rama immediately. That means you get the vision of God. So the more we contemplate on God, the more we contemplate on Hanuman, the more we become devoted and loyal, one-pointed, focused on our spiritual goal. Any questions to ask? Any question? There are many Devis are there. Anjali Devi, Manjusha Devi. No questions? Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart. O self, open its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath our very souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my assuredness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, and my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.